Welcome back, everybody, to Rebel Rally Live, presented by Toyota. We're here in the middle of Stage 4 in beautiful Dove Springs, California. I've got the scoring maven, Chrissie Beavis, here, and Chrissie doesn't want me to tell this story, but I have to tell this story really fast. I first met Chrissie when we were competing together in the Gazelle Rally in Morocco, and some of us Americans were all sitting around and we're plotting our checkpoints as we do, and somebody just kept breaking their lead on their pencil, and Beavis pops up and says, well, I never break my lead. So now we have a song. Every time I see Beavis, I say, my name is Beavis and I never break my lead.
That is true. She does.
She hates it, but she never breaks her lead. Never.
No, because I use a thicker lead than everyone else. Everyone else uses like 0.03 or 0.05, and that's tiny. And you break it, and you break it, and you break it, and it's awful because then you're just like, I'd throw the pencil, and it would be bad.
See, so plotting your checkpoints, you even got to decide what kind of pencil you want, how big of a lead you want in order to get the best use of your time. You guys, that is how detailed we get here in the Rebel Rally. But today, Chrissie, we wanted to give a scoring update because we've got a little bit of different something going on out there on course where competitors out there in Spangler Valley are going to be able to kind of chase checkpoints in any order. So let's elaborate on that because why?
This is something that Emily has been wanting to do for a while. And our scoring program, the way that we initially set it up, was that you have to get them in order. And that's for a lot of reasons. Most days that getting all the checkpoints in order makes the most sense for the game. But there's these beautiful open OHV areas like Spangler Hills.
Yeah, let's see it on the yellow brick tracker so we can see what we're talking about here. So they're doing all of this. Oh, I can't see. I got to take off my sunglasses. Okay. Yeah, keep going.
You see a bunch of those points over on the right-hand side, and those over there are all in an open OHV area, which means that the girls can just drive cross-country, and there are tons of little trails out there.
Okay.
It is really, really a marked-up area. It's really well-ridden. And so these checkpoints are just dotted throughout, and they could go and get them in any order in that whole section. So you see a green up in the upper left and a green in the kind of bottom middle, and those two are kind of the bookends of these out of order checkpoints. And so the way they saw it on that CP guide that they got this morning is that they were like highlighted. And so it's this grouping of checkpoints, and there's actually 13 of them that the teams could get in any order.
But they're all the same. Like a blue is worth, your standard blue amounts. Your black diamonds are worth your standard black diamonds amount.
Yes.
So they're not just worth 1 point each.
Right. No, they're not worth 1 point each. It's not 13 points. It's the black diamonds are worth anywhere from 7 to 2, and then the blues are usually around 10 points. And so obviously, you're going to want to get your blue checkpoints in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? But then there's a lot of black diamonds that they could just get in any order. And it might seem like, okay, well, if they're starting at this green, they should go up to this one and then this one and this one.
Like the closest one, the closest one,
right. Yeah, point A to point B. Except that in that area, there are so many trails, and there's areas that are really rutted because of UTV use.
Right.
And so it might be actually a lot faster to just cruise down a highway and come in and get a
sand highway.
Cruise down a big, wide dirt road that you can go, 50 kilometers an hour on, and then turn off and go the shortest distance to those black diamonds over whoops, over rutted
right.
UTV trails.
Yeah, I mean, drivers always get really scared about the dunes, but I think the vehicles are scared in this area because there's so much use here, which is great. We love to see people enjoying our public lands, but that does mean that you get some whooped out roads. And listen, whooped out roads are really difficult in stock and stock-ish vehicles because they just don't have the travel. It's very easy to go fast through those whoops. Ask me how I know. I might have broken a few vehicles out in this area. I'm not saying that I have. I'm just saying that it might be a thing. So let's take a look at the scoring because I know you were talking a little bit about what some teams are doing. So let's take a look at the live scoring for Group A. This is 4x4 of Group A. What have you seen in some of the scoring today?
Well, I think that that area of the out of order checkpoints, those 13 checkpoints are really going to kind of make or break this Group A's scores for the day. They all went out there and they made some choices, all very similar choices getting out there. But once they were into that area, you guys can see starting at checkpoint 6, that green was the first bookend, and then the next 13 checkpoints all the way up until checkpoint 20. Those ones are the ones that that you guys can see there are
that they can get in any order.
They can get in any order, and you can see that the top team got 11 out of the 13 checkpoints.
Yeah.
The second team down, as far as the ranking was at starting the day, they only got 8 out of 13.
And they're already out of that section?
They're already out of that section.
That's
and so,
not, they gave up some points there.
Now, they did, but I think that they're playing a time game with that because they're now going to come back over to the west side of the course today, and they're going to have to do an Enduro. And it's 6 checkpoints in that Enduro, and
it's a Jimmy Lewis Enduro, so it's very much like Dakar style navigating, just not with the speed.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And so I think that seeing how many checkpoints that those people went to, that Group A over in Spengler, is really interesting.
Okay.
But now if we go to Group B, we're going to see what the people who already have done the Enduro had to go through. So Group B did the Enduro first thing this morning, starting with checkpoint 1 and going for the first 7 checkpoints all the way to checkpoint 8.
Okay.
So
yeah, sorry, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. We'll get that Group B up there for you. But so how did most of those teams do on that Enduro with all of that navigation and all of those Black Diamond checkpoints?
So plenty of the teams went through.
All right, here we go.
They did well. They got their checkpoints, but you can see that in those first checkpoints that it was hard, right?
Yeah.
It looks like it was hard. You can see that they got the first one, sure, no problem. That was a blue. It was the start of the Enduro. It's right up the road. But 2, 3, and 4, those were the easier ones in the Enduro. But 5, 6, and 7, and 5X, 6X, 7X, those, they're worth the same amount, but what the competitors were told is that the X checkpoints and the X route, that whole road book that they got, that one was harder driving but easier navigation.
Yeah.
Right? And so they had to make the choice not based on how many points they were going to be able to get, but they had to make the choice just based on, do they want to have more difficult driving and easier navigation?
Right.
Or not.
I would like to have more difficult driving and easier navigation. That is what I would have chosen, for sure.
And you can see who went that route because you can see just immediately the difference between who got 5 and who got 5X.
Right.
And then you know which route they were on.
Okay.
And Group C had the same thing. They had a regular route and an X route.
Right, but the Group C is going to be doing the Enduro in the afternoon, is what it looks like to me, just looking at these scores. So they're all out there trying to get those out of order checkpoints. And we know that this is just midday scores, so you can't take this as gospel. But I mean, look at that again. No, Team 200 right at the top, and I don't know if they left first from everybody. I'm not 100% sure where they left, which would always put them at a little bit higher than the other teams. But I have to say, I don't like looking at the scores in the middle of the day because I'm like, come on, you guys, what are you doing? And I know it's not final.
But it's not final. But if you look all the way over to the right, you see if they've gotten that bookend on the Spengler OHV. So if you look at green 20 there.
Right.
Any of the teams who have gotten green 20 and nothing past that, which is the first 5 teams there, or first 4 teams, they've made their choice.
Right.
They've gotten the checkpoints that they're going to get,
right.
and they are out of there. And so you can see actually the top team definitely went for a lot more of those out of order checkpoints than the teams.
Right. So until we see that that 20 points under the green CP number 20, or 28, I believe it is for them. No, it's 20. Anything is good. We don't know. They might start populating backwards.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's crazy. So, okay, so we talk a lot about on-time enduros that I tried to do with your lovely husband, Matthew, and we failed at miserably because we're both drivers and neither one of us are navigators. But that was an on-time enduro, right, where you have to pass a specific place at a specific time. Why just have this as an on-route on enduro?
So there are so many different types of road books in use in the world. And at the Rebelle, we really like to say that we are making really well-rounded navigators and drivers, giving them challenges that we've picked up, that we've had a chance to do ourselves from all over the world. And a cross-country road book is a very different thing than an on-time road book, than a TSD rally, right? And whereas the tulips, which is the little diagram in the road book.
Right, shows you the arrow, you're going to go this way, you're going to go that way.
You're going to go this way, you're going to go that way. In an on-time enduro, they are the tulips aren't trying to be tricky. They are trying to be very accurate. The information is really simple and very direct.
Okay.
It's just trying to communicate everything that a team needs to get down the road. Now, that is not the case with a cross-country road book. Right, for the on-route enduros. I looked at it and I'm like, this is way too many symbols. No, some of the on-route enduros, we're just trying to get them from point A to point B, and we give them, most of the information. But that's not what's going on today. Today is this cross-country road book. It is an on-route, but it was made by someone completely different than our other ones. So
it was made by
Jimmy Lewis.
Jimmy Lewis, who is a Dakar podium finisher and now trains all the Dakar motorcycle guys, the top guys.
That's right. And so he's going out, and when you see these tulips...
Oh, no, we saw them.
Oh, they're confusing.
Yes,
right?
100%.
And it might show that you drive around this little thing, and then you leave on the road. But when you get there, there's 3 roads.
Right.
And it gives you a heading. And so... even though in the tulip's just wrong because there's 3 roads, but instead of saying, well, take the middle road, which would be easy, instead he's making you get out and get out your compass and take your heading and pick which of those roads you want when you're leaving that.
Well, and I remember last year, I think, is when you guys started to bring in some of the Dakar symbols, some of the FIA symbols, and we weren't really prepared for that. And I remember we all just were standing in a circle going, what is cap? What is average cap? What is calculated cap? I don't know. What do you think it is? I don't know. What do you think it is? And it was just like we were all so panicked and confused. But I think it's great that we're putting in more and more difficult things so that it gives the top competitors something new to challenge themselves. And then it just like kind of throws the rookies in the deep end and says, all right, good luck. Sink or swim, ladies, sink or swim. And the best part is that they get such great training at Rebelle U that, they're swimming. They might be doggy paddling, but those ladies are swimming.
Well, and we always give them, when I look through all the road books, and I always try to give them kind of these safety rails, right? So they're not just driving down some road because they thought that's what the road book says. I'm going to put in latitude and longitudes where they can actually plot it on the map, and they can signal their tracker. They could get a wide miss. They can plot themselves on the map and be like, oh, we're over here. That latitude, longitude is here. They can drive back to it. And then they can get back on their road book and go and continue and get those checkpoints. Yeah, and with an on-route or a cross-country enduro, because time is not necessarily involved, you can take that time to be really, really accurate. Yeah. And, after Rebecca and I had so much experience here doing those road books, we've decided that we would like to do the Sonora Rally. We're going to miss it this year, but we're hopefully going to go in next year. And we went and we did the training and we got the road book and we were like, oh yeah, no, I get this. Oh wait, what's that symbol? And we'd look in our lexicon. But like by and large, we were able to get this road book and we were able to move into a different kind of competition, one that involves speed,
but still feel very comfortable. So thank you, Chrissie Beavis. Thank you for making us comfortable.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
So I think we've got some information about our schedule again. You know, we will be here at the finish line tonight at 6 p.m. here at Stage 4. We've got one more night here in Base Camp 2, and then we are moving south down the road. Where are we moving to? I don't really know because I don't know what the route is ahead of time, just like the competitors. Chrissie, thank you so much for being here. I know you're like sitting there behind your computer, just like, you know, trying to make sure that we've got everything organized. So I appreciate you all taking your time. You guys, we'll see you here at 6 o'clock. Remember, you can find us at rebelrally.com/live, Rebel Rally on Facebook or on the YouTubes. From Rebel Rally Live, presented by Toyota, good afternoon. And don't forget your sunscreen because it's hot, baby.